everyone, and welcome to another episode of Meet the Storm. Today I am joined by the head men's and women's tennis coach at ASA Miami, Coach Brian Slack. Coach, thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
First off, Coach, you're here now with the Miami team. Tell us a little bit about where you're from, where you went to school, and just your history before you got here to ASA.
From Indianapolis, Indiana originally. Played high school tennis there, then went to Vincennes University, a junior college in Southwest Indiana for 1 year, then went on to IUPUI, a Division I school in Indianapolis. Finished up my 3 years there, then became an assistant coach at Morehead State for 1 year, then went back to Vincennes as an assistant coach for 6 years, and then came to ASA to be the head men's and women's coach at ASA New York in 2012, and then came down here to Miami in fall of 2015.
Okay, like you said, you started your ASA career in our New York campuses, and then moved down here to Miami in 2015.
Yeah.
Give us a little insight, explain to us on what do you think are some of the biggest factors of why you've been so successful during your time here at ASA College?
I mean, a big part of it coming into ASA was kind of a culture change of what we were going to do, how we were going to do things. Conditioning is a big part of what we do, kind of staying in our patterns and playing basically percentage tennis is kind of our MO, I guess to say. I mean, everything that we do, if anybody's been around, tennis is normally a pretty quiet sport, but we're a very loud team, borderline obnoxious at times. It was just kind of changing the culture at the beginning. When we got to ASA New York, the women's team was ranked 3rd in the country, men's team was 15th in the country. We really changed with how we were going to practice, what we were going to do, push harder than anybody else. Both teams finished 2nd in the country that year, losing to Tyler, Texas in the finals of both of those. And then the next year it was bringing in the better recruits, bringing in better players, those who fit the script of what we were going to do on the court and off the court. Won the national championship the next 2 years there. Brought some of the players from the New York team on the women's side down here. A couple of the guys came down with me from New York to the Miami campus and just kind of kept building it up a little bit.
You've spoken to me a lot about both the men and the women's team last year, and you know how special they were to you. Take us through last season, what those two, the men's and the women's team, meant to you, and what it felt like to bring a national championship down here to the Miami campus.
Last year's team was a lot. Was kind of the team that kind of put my name on the map to everywhere else. It kind of helped ASA go onto the map. The women's team that we had, those were kids who straight bought into everything we were doing. It was the top recruiting class that I've ever had coming in. And we had a girl that's now Macarena Olivares from Chile that was ranked 64 in the world in juniors, 580 WTA at 18 years old. We had a girl from Switzerland, Megan Bianco, that was 87 in the world in juniors. Maka's now at Texas A&M. Megan ended up going to Kaiser University up the road here. Tyler's at Jackson State at Division I. Dew is at Rutgers, playing #1 singles in the Big Ten at Rutgers. That team meant a ton to me. They believed in me, trusted in me, let me kind of lead the way, and really, that first year was a record-setting year. We won every single flight at the national championship our last year in New York. First time it had been done, I think, since 1994. First time it's been done in Division I junior college tennis. Before it was in the Division II side. And then to try to back that up last year meant a lot. The guys team, we had a #1. We got lucky when we came down here. We had Callum Poland-Smith from England, who had won the national championship the year before at #1 singles and #1 doubles, and we pulled in the kid that he beat in the finals the year before that was at another junior college that dropped their program, Vincennes, where I was previously, and that kid came to us. So we had the #1 and #2 ranked player in the country on our team.
The next step for you now is in Miami is repeating as back-to-back champs on both the men and the women's side. Currently, during the 2017 season right now, the women are ranked 2nd. Heading into the national tournament in about a week and a half in Tucson, Arizona, and then the men are ranked 3rd.
Second as well.
2nd, heading into the national tournament in about 2.5 weeks in Plano, Texas. What do you think both teams are going to need to do in order to repeat as champions?
It's tough. it's kind of on our racket. We have the level, we have the kids. On paper with the girls team this year, we are just as talented as last year's team. But we are very young. The team that's #1 team in the country right now is Tyler. It's always us and Tyler. And we played them once on the girls' side. They beat us pretty handily, but if you look at as a team record, they beat us 8-1. But when you really boil down into the scores and so forth, we're right there to take those matches. And on the men's side, again, we lost 5-4 to Tyler, up 2-1 after doubles, and kind of, we had an injury at the time and kind of went through just trying to figure out matchups. They changed their lineup as well. They had a kid that was injured as well. But matchups, I think with the matchups that we're going to have against them, it's going to be right there for the cake. Men's side as well, the #3, #4, and #5 team in the country and so forth. It's kind of the top 7 have some players in some spots that can cause everybody problems. So it's not getting the hook, not getting hooked up on looking in the past. It's looking one match by match. That's a big thing that we talk about is, don't worry about the team score aspect of things. Just kind of, as long as you take care of your match, the person across the net on that given day, then we're good to go and we'll be okay at the end. We'll be right there, and match by match, we need to do whatever it takes to win the national championship.
All right, Coach, I want to thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
On behalf of myself and the rest of the ASA family, I wish you good luck next week during the national tournament.
Appreciate it. Thank you.